All right, well, one of our favorite summer shows is now really heating up. Live rounds for America's Got Talent are now underway. Now, among the competitors is a Seattle comedian who can read your mind and make you laugh at the same time. I chatted with Peter Antoniou as he prepares for tonight's big performance. What is a psychic comedian? Because honestly, it sounds like a terrifying thought, like you're going to see what's inside my head and then make a joke of it.
Yeah, no, I think it's sort of, yeah, like the idea of sort of psychics is often quite spooky because, yeah, like they're thinking like, oh, are they going to reveal my darkest secrets and stuff? So the sort of comedian is there to like reassure people that like, yeah, I am going to read your mind, but like it's going to be fun and funny. And like the butt of the joke is never the person's mind I'm reading, but it's sort of the wild thoughts that people come up with, especially when you put them on the spot and say like, I'll think of anything in the world. You sort of get a good little flash of their actual personality. And it's a really fun and engaging sort of way of interacting with people.
I love that. I love that. So do you know like what my first question was going to be or how does this work?
Well, I always like to ask permission before I jump into someone's mind because, you know, it is rude just to instantly go for people's thoughts. So I'm sort of very careful before I jump into someone's mind. Also, sometimes people are thinking thoughts that you don't want to read. So it's worth just giving them a warning first.
I like that. I like that. Think of golf. Think of golf. No, that's good. I don't know. Do you do this over like long transmissions or does it have to be in person?
It's much harder to do over sort of long transmissions because you've got like the disconnect and like I think something that we've all learned over the last sort of year of being on video calls is that like that in-person connection isn't quite there and it's been like an ongoing struggle and I've sort of tried to build up ways of connecting with people, but I just can't wait to going back to being in a room with people and having that actual connection.
You and me both. I mean, hosting a live talk show every day via Zoom has been so hard because you really can't connect with people the way you should be able to. And you actually had this storm come upon you. You're from London, moved to Seattle, now you're in LA. How has that transition been?
Yeah, it's been a lot like, yeah, moving to America like during the pandemic was a lot of stress. There was a lot of like extra paperwork and protection. And then it's sort of a lot of people were asking me like, oh, how's living in America been? And I've sort of said like, I've not really got to experience it yet because I just went from like staying inside a house in one location to staying inside a house in another location. So I sort of now things are beginning to open up again. It's been so nice to like get to come to LA and see things and hopefully that continues. And I'm really looking forward to like getting to go around America and read minds from all corners of the States.
I love it. Fingers crossed that'll happen. And you've wanted to do this since you were 9 and have since performed all over the world, right?
Yeah, so I've been sort of really lucky. Like I was a weird kid and started exploring mind reading when I was a kid and built it up into doing shows in my 20s in sort of comedy clubs and cabaret clubs in London, and then got picked up by various people, sort of flown all around the world for companies and private events and doing theatre shows. So I sort of consider myself incredibly lucky that I both discovered something I was that passionate about at that age and have been able to do it.
I love that. What has been your favorite part of the experience overall? Seeing how people react or just, I don't know, getting that smile and a laugh?
Yeah, I think it's such a nice moment to connect in an audience and like getting to like bring out stories that often people wouldn't say. So like a lot of my show is having people think of like facts I couldn't possibly know about them or stuff like that. And they're stories that they wouldn't necessarily tell other than if you were at a dinner party, but we get to share them with a whole audience. And I think at some level, I'm just a nosy person and it's nice to be able to share those interesting stories.
Right. And so now you're sharing these stories on America's Got Talent. What has that experience been like? Who's your favorite judge? Who should we kiss up to?
Oh, it's been an absolute blast. Like I never thought in a million years that like sort of moving to America, the first thing I do would be on America's Got Talent in front of all these sort of titans of the industry. It was so nice to meet Simon. There was like an instant British bond there, which was...
I love it.
And like, I think everyone sort of assumes that he's a bit mean, but I think he's just got exacting standards, which I think I sort of understand. And I mean, who couldn't love Sofia Vergara? It's just such fun. And like in my first audition, trusting me with her engagement ring and that just sort of being up for playing and fun has been an absolute blast. And also just getting to meet the other acts as well. And I think it's easy to forget that, like, even though this is like a competition, the vibes backstage and talking to other acts, there's like no sense of competition. Everyone's really supportive, and we're all sort of so excited to see what everyone else is going to do. So it's just been a really positive experience in that regard as well.
What an incredible experience you've had. And thank you so much for coming to share this with us, to explain what you do. I really hope one day we can be in the same room and we can get the full scope of what you do. But just so you know, Seattle's cheering you on.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got you.
And you can watch Peter on America's Got Talent tonight at 8 o'clock right here on King 5. And don't forget to vote for Peter via the America's Got Talent official app, or you can find a link on New Day's website.